Hi, my name is Belgica and I'm an actress. And today we're going to talk to Ayelet Firstenberg and Timothy Huls about the Facebook group called Actors Leveling Up, as well as Ayelet's 6-week program that is called The Work.
It's a Facebook group called Actors Leveling Up. It's for actors who, during these Corona times, have been struggling with motivation or feeling like a lack of momentum, or have noticed that I say they, but it's really we, because I'm included in this, have been picking up bad habits, and maybe some of our skills are starting to atrophy because we're not working on them. And it's hard, like when we don't have a deadline, like there haven't been a lot of auditions or performances, if any. So how do you get yourself to work towards anything? And so the group is a place where we support each other and hold each other accountable to continuing to level up during this time, hence the name Actors Leveling Up. And we've been doing it through posting and supporting each other through these like mini accountability challenge posts that I've been posting. We have an interview series to showcase various members, meetups. I can hand it over to Timothy to talk more about that because he's been a huge co-creator with all these interviews and events and stuff.
Yeah, the events are just basically, between Ayala now, we have a lot of actors in our network, and we combine, we have a big community, and I think that's what's really pulling actors and creatives through in these times is coming together and combining forces. I love the group because it's so focused on actors who are driven, who are still working, who are not at the effect of their circumstances, who are still wanting to work and be held accountable. And that's one thing that Ayelet offers in this Facebook group, and in the other course that she's gonna bring up. And then the events are an opportunity for us to meet and connect and play, and networking is fun, can be very
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I love networking. So the fact that I can network on Facebook is like huge because I get to socialize and like I get to talk to you guys. And
Mhm.
pre this, I would see people in person, and I wouldn't use Facebook that much because if you talk to like a 20-year-old, they're like, Facebook, you have one, you use it. And it's just like,
That's like old
girl,
people use now.
yeah, yes, exactly. They're like, oh, it's old people. And I'm like, actually, I get so many different connections from the Facebook groups. Like Women Plus in Theater is another one that's a huge
Yeah.
Facebook group. There's a Latinx Facebook group that I'm a part of. And it's just such a great opportunity to learn about new people. And of course, for my channel, to connect with new people, and then this Facebook group, there's so many actors, that I can just be like, hey, who likes to do this? And like 5 hands will go up.
I honestly have a newsfeed blocker for Facebook. So like when I first log in, I don't even see a newsfeed. So I don't get like sucked into the hole of like how awful Facebook can be. I just have like the groups that I want to check in on. And like I can see messages and like notifications that I get invited to events. And that way I really use it as a tool for networking and for like the positive energies I want to put out there rather than getting sucked into the hole of like reading everyone's politics. How can we use all this stuff for tools rather than for distraction,
Yeah.
especially in a time when it's so easy to get distracted?
And then when you guys come up with events, what are you thinking? Like, do you want it to be more like inclusive, like so everybody can do it, or you're like, oh, for people that might want this? Like, how do you guys come up with different events?
I think that it's a good mix, and we're still developing the events. We have a great platform, by the way. There's a new platform we've been using called AirMeet. So it's not Zoom. It's a virtual events platform called AirMeet, and we held an event on there, and you can move from table to table. It's basically like a virtual conference, but conference room. Who we host the events for are actors who have some level of experience. I mean, maybe I'll let you can speak to that, the level of experience, but actors who are just passionate and driven and take their career very seriously.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And who want to be doing good stuff with this time.
Yeah.
Well, I know I was going to say the fun thing is you're saying like it's still very much in development. I mean, this whole group is only like less than a month old,
Yeah.
probably like 3 weeks old, and we have 200 people in it already, which is awesome. But that's what is exciting about being in kind of now is we're like taking people's feedback. Like what kind of event do you want to see? Or like some member of ours just said, hey, I have an idea for an event I could host within the group. And we're like, great, let's talk. So we're talking with her. Like everyone is contributing to the future of what this group can be. But so far the energy has just been super positive, super about getting stuff done, accountability, supporting each other, and like, let's follow our dreams now, rather than just sitting on the couch.
It's great to have a group like this where there's a lot of people in your position, or a lot of people giving you ideas on how to survive during this time and in the future, which for actors, not having work for a while is kind of common. Right?
It is kind of common. And that kind of like, that's an interesting segue into the other thing I do, which is offer this course that I'll tell you about, because like I've definitely been there. Has been an actor who was like, I'm quitting, like this is it. And I think a big part of that is because we don't usually as actors like weave our career into like a bigger strategy for like life fulfillment.
Yeah.
And so we end up kind of selling our soul for the business and doing all these things we feel like we should be doing because I'm an actor. I should be living in this city. I should be taking this class and doing this. And we neglect all these other aspects of our life. And we don't ever really ask ourselves, what is my dream life? And that's the topic that I'm really inspired about because that's a personal journey I went through. So that's this course that I offer called The Work, is this 6-week journey with a small group of other actors to make that strategy. How can we incorporate your career moves into that so you're not just like throwing dollars, big dollars on like this random casting director or this relocation or this without really knowing, is that gonna like actually make me fulfilled? So when you have that big picture strategy, you know whether these moves are gonna fit into this like dream career, dream life. It's so essential to do that. And I'll just add too that like when you have that strategy and you are pursuing this dream life, you become so magnetic. So when I was living in New York, I was very unhappy because I was doing that thing where I was like selling my soul to the business, and it was palpable. Like people could tell my energy was small, and I wasn't like getting the kind of gigs I wanted to be getting. And then when I was like, no more of that, and I started prioritizing happiness and fulfillment, it changed everything. And I started focusing on areas of my life that weren't even necessarily theater. Some of them were, but I went and lived where I wanted to live. And I started doing things I want to be doing. Within a year, I was in a room with Steven Schwartz, like originating a role in a new musical of his. And I was like, how the heck did this happen? And that would never, ever, ever would have happened in New York, because I was like not happy and people didn't want to be around me.
Yeah, I love that, of really thinking about the whole picture of your life, because whenever people are like, oh, you want to be an actor? Ooh, you better be ready to work so hard and sacrifice absolutely everything. And it's like, okay, maybe for some people who want to become like Beyonce, might have to do that, but I don't want to. So let's take this a little more chill. So I really, really like that perspective of looking at the whole picture. You said that your dream career, like what will that look like? Will it look like you being in 5 really great shows into your entire life? Because it really is the climb, it really is about all of the experiences. I've personally noticed whenever I reach a certain goal or get something, I'm like, oh, like, okay, that's cool, but like, what else can I do? What else is going to be fun? If I already had a crazy house right now, a crazy car, if I already was married with children and had like all of these things that I wanted, I feel like there'd be nothing else to work towards and to be happy to look forward to, And I told you guys last time when the interview you did with me for the group that I just really like working hard. So if I had everything already, it wouldn't be as fun.
What's the point of success if we're not enjoying the process? And then we do get these goals of like, oh, I'm on Broadway and I'm still unhappy. What the heck?
Yeah. It's like, what else is missing in my life? Yeah. So, Timothy, you're in this 6-week program right now, right? So what is your experience so far?
I am rendered speechless. How do I talk when I'm speaking about how great the course is? Because I have done lots of self-development work with communication and different workshops, and I love it. I love self-actualizing. I love digging in and healing, and also discovering new skills with communication and life things that help me be the person that I want to be. And it does take work to be the person that you want to be. And Ayelet's course, The Work, I mean, Ayelet as a person, I've always admired how driven she is and even before she started, I was like, what is going on with that woman, that she's a magnet, that I just want to like, boom, you know, that I just, so she said she was offering this course, and she was also building it and sourcing my advice on it. I helped her, contributed to her as many other people did, but I couldn't say no. And the results are profound. I got a new commercial agent. I'm represented by Aqua now.
Yay.
I got like, I got a huge renewal check come in the mail a few days ago. I feel good, and that's no small thing. I feel very good. You know, in the past couple of weeks, it's been like it's been like a fountain of opportunities. So not only opportunities, but like a fountain of just good things. Like like, I'm like, wow, I can do this and feel okay with it. Because one thing that I think, like you just said, Belgica, about we think we have to sacrifice a lot as an artist, and it's like, well, you can't have the good without the bad. I think that's kind of BS, and one can make meaning about what bad is. But with Ayelet's course, I've really taken a look at this idea of treating oneself. And for a long time, I'm like, I can't treat myself. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
All work all the time. I can't do that. I can't have a piece of cake. I'm working, you know? But I've learned, you know, that it's so important to like recharge, and a lot, you know, a lot of the really successful people you hear, it's like they actually build a large amount of time into their schedule to recharge so that they can show up powerfully in the work that they do. It's been me taking a hard look at my life. I have looked at my life and said what's working and what's not. And that's actually and that's what I really appreciate about Ayelet's course, is that it's like both, it's like two things that I love. It's acting and self-development in one course. It's like profound.
Those are the things I love too. We're in the right place.
And I mean, I've also, you know, I'm an acting coach, and it's not just that I've gotten more clients, it's that clients have come to me because of the magnetism that I've been developing through taking Ayelet's course as an acting coach, as an actor, and as someone who wants opportunities to have to make money, and also be of service to people who are just hungry for work and play.
We want to be around people who are like living their best lives, because we're like, how do they do it?
Yeah.
So if we're those people, we're going to be attracting those jobs, those clients, those networking opportunities.
Oh, for sure. And it's so funny when you look up to somebody and you think they're so talented and you think they're so amazing and they have it all together, and then you talk to them and they're like, really? I thought you had it put together. I thought you were doing great. I was like, wow. So it's just about perspective, because there's people out there doing some crazy stuff and they're like, no, I just did 2 big things and that's it. I'm like, you did 2 big things. That's amazing.
Or like, I've had the experience of talking to those people who are like, I look up to them, and then they're so unhappy. It doesn't matter what level you're at. If you're feeling unhappy or dissatisfied or crushed, you're going to feel it no matter where you are. So that's what also made me really realize, like, the priority is doing the inner work and finding fulfillment now, so that as we go up, we are still fulfilled, we're still fulfilled, we're still fulfilled. And we don't just like continue being bigger and bigger versions of the unhappy that we are now. Yeah,
continue to just be unhappy with each big step that you're taking. You know, you start with little steps and you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Medium steps, I'm still not doing enough. Huge, crazy, and you're like, nothing is good enough. So it's so much about appreciating just every friendship, every moment, every interview, you know, it's just everything. And that makes me so happy. You guys are so positive. I love it.
Well, and then like finding people like Timothy to collaborate with has been amazing. And actually, we weren't like collaborating before COVID
How did you guys meet? Because I think I saw your reel, Ayelet, and I think I saw him in a commercial, and I was like, that's how they met.
We definitely did commercial. We did a commercial together. Well, we met after a show one day.
It still floors me to this day that I'm friends with Ayelet, because I saw her at SF Playhouse when I was training. So I was an audience member, and you never forget those friendships that you make with the friends that first you see in a play, and then your friends, because she will always be that actor above me, figuratively and literally. Not like, you know, in a good way. Just, like in a reverence. Like I have a reverence for her because I saw her in this play at SF Playhouse, and I had to approach her afterwards. I think it was, were you in City of Angels or
probably The Effect.
No, it was before. No,
She Loves Me.
She Loves Me, maybe. before, yeah.
But anyway, like the thing is you make these connections, and then Timothy, before you know it, was a year later, was casting a commercial, and he cast me in it, and then we filmed a commercial together, you know, and we've been we live in different cities, you know, he's on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, but because of Corona times and because both of us have this attitude of like, and I know Belgica, you do it too, it's like, what can I do with this time? We've just been like Zooming, and we started hosting all these play readings, and then we're like, let's collaborate on making events. Like we now like talk several times a week of just like game plan, like what's next, what are we doing next, who are we interviewing, what are we doing, what are we hosting. So it's fun to find those people, and that's bringing it back to the Facebook group Actors Leveling Up. That's one of my dreams for it, and I know Timothy too, that people make these connections and they find these collaborations, and we keep just making amazing things with what we have, which is this Zoom here.
So great.
It's so nice that it's like, it boils for me, my connection with Ayelet and the Facebook group and the work, it boils down to a word that I discovered in self-development that is very present in all these groups, and that word is possibility. It's so easy to have Corona times kill one's possibility, the possibility of the future. But I'm just right now, literally in this moment, I'm like, I can't wait to talk to Ayelet about what's next. And like,
I know, I think we have a meeting after this.
Oh yeah, we do. So it's like, you know, instead of like, my world feels like this, like the future is open, anything is possible. And I learned that in my self-development, and Ayelet is committed to that as well. There are a lot of destructive narratives and false narratives about being an actor, a starving artist, you know, you name it. And one thing I will say that I really admire about Ayelet and a lot of the actors who have already joined the Facebook group is it's not the industry or acting is out there. We are the industry. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. That's Willy Wonka, by the way. But it's true, because we are responsible for creating. I mean, we can choose to be responsible for creating what we want to see in the world, rather than waiting on some self-tape to book us a gig. I mean, I'm getting on Instagram, and I do these stupid videos, but that brings me so much joy and engagement and like, these things.
The question I ask when people want to join the Facebook group is just tell me a little bit about your life as an actor, because I do want actors to be in it. It's for people who are pursuing acting. Most of us are professional level, although some people are just starting out, but they're serious about it, and they're welcome, you know?
So then if anybody wants to join the Facebook group that is actively, you know, pursuing acting, then they would just search Actors Leveling Up on Facebook, ask to join. They would tell you a little bit about what they're doing, and then they'd be able to join and be part of all of these cool conversations. And then for your 6-week program, is that just on your website or? Yeah,
the website is intothework.com, and that's definitely for like career actors and performers, and all the info is up there on intothework.com. I'm starting the next group September 13th. I don't know when this is going to be showing, but if this airs after that, then you could always join the waitlist for the next group.
Timothy, now you've basically finished it. No?
Is the last call, and yeah, today's the last group call, and then we have something called Oompa Loompa Town.
Alum Club. We still don't know what to call it, but I've been calling it Alum Club, and it's for like after the course. None of us want to leave. Yeah. So what's next? So I'm starting this like kind of month to month. It's like an accountability club. We have a call at the top of the month. You have an accountability buddy throughout. You decide what you want to work on this month. And then we have co-working sessions every Friday where everyone gets on Zoom on mute and we work on our stuff. And it's a way to continue the group, continue the family vibe, and continue working on all these projects we want to be working on.
I will say, like, it is an investment, and it is worth this IELTS course is worth an investment, is worth the investment. It's worth every single penny.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Belgica.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And at the end of every video, I feature another channel. And of course, I'm going to feature The Work, their YouTube channel, so you can go check them out.